Is salah a recital or a speech you give to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No, salah is a meeting, a conversation. But if there is just one person talking, is it a meeting? Not really, it's more like a speech, right? Salah is not a speech, it is a meeting between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means Allah is also talking to you in your salah. What does Allah say to you? Do you know? Well, here is just one example of what we know Allah says to you in your salah. You say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, meaning all praise and thanks for everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds. The praise for everything and the thanks for everything belongs to the Lord of the worlds. You say that and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to you right there in your prayer. He replies back to you and he says, my servant has praised me. Above the heavens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning you and he says, my servant has praised me. Then you say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Allah's names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. He is the most merciful, full of mercy. Mercy for everyone, everybody, and of course, especially for the believers. And Allah again from above the heavens, He mentions you. He replies to you and He says to you, my servant has exalted me, which is like even higher form of praise. Then you say, Maliki Yawmiddin, master of the day of judgment. He's the owner, the king, the master, who will judge us all on the day of judgment. And Allah replies back to you. He says, my servant has submitted to my power, or my servant has glorified me. This is true, right? You have just said that Allah is going to judge us all, everybody. He is going to judge you. He is the owner of the day of judgment. You have submitted to His power. You have recognized, accepted that Allah is your judge. And so Allah replies back and says, my servant has submitted to my power. Then comes the greatest ayah of this surah. One of the greatest ayahs of the entire Quran. The ayah that many scholars have said summarizes the entire Quran. It is Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You alone we worship and you alone we ask for help. Allah is the only one we Muslims worship. And He is the only one we rely on for help. Even if help comes from somewhere else, we know it is from Allah. He is the one we completely rely on help for. Allah replies back to you and He says to you now, this is incredible. You know what He says? He says, this is between me and my servant shall have what he or she asked for. Amazing. So close. Allah is saying this to you like you're so close to Him. He is saying this is between me and my servant shall have what he or she asked for. What are you going to ask for? Allah is saying He will give you what you ask for. It's just between you and Him now. What do you ask for? We say, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Guide us to the straight path. The path of the people you are pleased with, that have people that have pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like the prophets, like the companions, like the people of the Jannah, the highest levels in Jannah. Not the ones who have gone on the wrong way, lost their way, or who have angered Allah. We don't know. Allah, protect us, save us from being one of them. Guide us and make us of the people you are pleased with. And Allah replies back to you. Wouldn't it be wonderful if He said, yes, you can have this? You can have this? You can be that? Would Allah say that? Yes, Allah says, this is for my servant. This is for my servant. Allah from above the heavens replies back to you and says, this is for my servant. Allah gives it to you. Allah has guided you to the path of the prophets, the path to Jannah. Not just showing you what is right and wrong. The guidance of Allah isn't just, okay, this is the right way. But the guidance of Allah is the guidance of the heart. Really, the highest level of guidance of Allah is the guidance of heart, that you want to do the right thing. Your heart doesn't want to do the wrong thing. Guidance of Allah is you actually doing it. Not just thinking about it, not just wanting it, but doing it. Allah has guided you 5 times a day. You will be making this dua to Allah 5 times a day. This is a conversation you have with Allah. Not just 5, 17, because in every salah we read Surah Fatiha so many times. Every time Allah is having this conversation with you. Do you think if someone is having this conversation with Allah 5 times a day, Allah is guiding them, saying that this is between me and you will have what you ask for, and this is for my servant? Do you think after that you will be the same person? You will be the same person after that if you're really having this conversation with Allah 17 times a day. And how easy is that? You don't have to climb a mountain or make some big sacrifice to have this conversation. No, you just have to do wudu and stand up in your prayer with the presence of your mind of what you are saying. Mean it from your heart. Do you think Allah is having this conversation with somebody who will just be saying the words but don't mean them from their heart? They are saying them, they don't even know what they mean. They're just saying them and they're thinking about something else? Of course not. Allah is not going to have a conversation with that person. That is why it is extremely important for us to know the meanings and just put our heart in it, reflect on them, think about them when we are saying with our tongue. It's not hard. It is a piece of cake, really. It is so easy, and you could be getting this guidance from Allah 5 times a day. Your life will be different. You will be a far, far stronger person than hundreds of people around you. You are a person that Allah is guiding 5 times a day. After your prayer, you will go back and you will, inshallah, see you will be doing greater actions. But of course, maybe after a little while, shaitan will get you. You might start doing something wrong again. That's why you need to come back and again ask Allah to guide you to the path of the prophets. Because every prayer time, by the time the next prayer comes, we have slowly started going down the wrong track again, and we need Allah to guide us back. Constantly ask Allah to guide you back to the right path, to keep you on the right path, the path of the prophets. Have this conversation. It is so easy. All you have to do is wudu and stand up in prayer. No big sacrifice. It's not like you have to spend a lot of money and travel a long distance, go to Mecca, and only then you can have this conversation. No. Just in your bedroom. Do wudu, stand up for prayer, converse with Allah. So I hope you're going to learn the meanings, reflect on them in your prayer. This is just what we know of Surah Fatiha. There are more things.